My fourth-ranked team, Fangraphs' eighth-ranked team, an 101-win team from last year, adds an ace in the offseason by trading for Corbin Burnes. That was the big addition this offseason via trade, but they also added Craig Kimbrell in free agency. Those were the two really big signings. They didn't really lose anything too crazy. They traded away DL Hall and Joey Ortiz, who I think are both really solid players. They didn't lose much, but they traded for Corbin Burnes. Their rotation now looks really good, especially if Kyle Bradish is healthy. You're hoping to make the ALCS. That is the goal for the Baltimore Orioles. Make the ALCS. You don't want to lose in the ALDS again. Bradish is really good. If he stays healthy, you got an amazing rotation. John Means, if he can stay healthy, like Bradish is not going to be healthy to start the year. You're hoping he comes back by May or June. Just Bradish is a beast. He would be your number 2 or 3 starter. John Means is very good as well. And even if they don't come back, you got Corbin Burnes, who's an ace Cy Young candidate. Grayson Rodriguez, who in the second half of the year last year, I'm pretty sure had an ERA in the high 2s, maybe like 2.8, something like that. Grayson Rodriguez is very good. And you also, the hope, you're hoping and praying he can build on what he did at the end of the year. Then you have Dean Kramer, who last year I said could disappoint, and he didn't. But this year, he had a 2.58 ERA post-All-Star break, Grayson Rodriguez. I think he will be competing for the Cy Young. Dean Kramer had an expected ERA of 4.93, an ERA of 4.12. I think he's solid. I think he's going to be more of a 3-4 starter. And then you have Tyler Wells, who was really solid in a short period of time, and Cole Irvin is okay as a 5 starter. Bullpen, I think Yennier Cano will end up being the closer instead of Craig Kimbrell. That's just my opinion. Like, I don't really completely follow the team. Dylan Tate's solid. Cionel Perez is solid. I think this bullpen's really good. That was their big strength. Now, they lose Felix Bautista to Tommy John surgery, but I think it's fine. Their offense will, in my opinion, take a small step back next year. They have a great catcher. I think the best catcher in baseball. Adley Rutschman, who's going to be an MVP candidate. Amazing offensively. Great defensively over at catcher. Even if the stats don't say he's elite or the best defensive catcher, he can call games at a level that no 26-year-old can call games. Maybe Yadier Molina. He's amazing. Their backup catcher, James McCann, is a very good guy to have as a backup. At first base, you got Ryan Mountcastle and Ryan O'Hearn kind of platooning there, sort of, because Ryan Mountcastle's still going to play versus righties, so it's not like it's a platoon necessarily. I think Mountcastle is amazing. I think Ryan O'Hearn can disappoint a little bit. He had a really small sample size, and again, he's going to have that same small sample size since he's platooning, which means he probably will still be solid, but I don't know if he'll be just as good. Mountcastle is very good. He continues to hit the ball hard. His launch angle is up from back in like 2020, his rookie year. Then you have at second base, projected by Fangraphs, I should add, Jackson Holliday is the projected second baseman, according to Fangraphs. I would not be shocked if he ends up being the opening day second baseman, because it seems like that's what's happening. If not, he could get called up. I think Jackson Holliday is going to be good. I think he could disappoint just because it's difficult to be such a good player at 20 years old. It's rare to see that. And plus, if he does get added to this roster, I think this Orioles team just is insane. Jackson Holliday could potentially be starting the year there. At third base, it could end up being Gunnar Henderson in the event that Jackson Holliday plays shortstop. But right now it's Jordan Westberg, who I think is solid. I think he had like a 7-something OPS last year when in the big leagues. He didn't have a lot of time in the league. Yeah, he had 715 OPS, exactly 100 OPS plus. His projected numbers are, hey, you're going to be pretty good. I think he's good at third base. He's just being overshined by a lot of guys. You even have Jorge Mateo, who could potentially be him and Ramon Urias are going to be the utility guys in that infield. As Gunnar Henderson, I think, also could be an MVP candidate. He is insane. He is really, really good. Let's get to the outfield. Left fielder Austin Hayes, I think, will definitely decline. He had a 275 batting average, but his expected batting average was 242. His batting average on balls in play was 345. I'm expecting his batting average to drop around to the 240 range, in which case he probably will lose his starting spot at some point. He will feel that starting spot slipping to Colton Cowser and Heston Kjerstad, who are both, and maybe Connor Norby, but Kjerstad and Cowser are two guys who might earn one of those starting outfield spots if anyone slips, including Cedric Mullins, who I don't think really hits the ball very hard. He hits the ball soft contact, good defender, but he's not a power bat anymore. If he starts to falter, you still have Colton Cowser and Heston Kjerstad, who both are outfielders who can jump in and take outfield spots from these guys. Even Kyle Stowers is another guy who can also take a starting spot from one of these guys. And then in right field, Anthony Santander, I think, is still a good power bat. I think he will be good, but he can disappoint based on an expected slugging percentage of 426 and a 472 slugging percentage last year. I don't think he'll be bad. I just think he will be a little bit worse than he was a year ago. I have this team winning 94 games, which is 7 less than last year, because I do think the offense is going to decline a little bit, given the fact that I think some of these players are going to be worse. I think the rotation is about the same. You lose Felix Bautista. I think you're still an amazing team. The over-under I would say, is 93.5. Vegas says 90.5. I would 100% bet the over on the 98.5 for the Baltimore Orioles.